John, thank you so much for putting that op-ed out there and calling balls and strikes.
You bet.
And saying, like it should be said, can we ever, do you think, in our lifetime, get back to limited federal government like the Founding Fathers wanted?
Dan, I'm grateful to be on it. I do think we can, absolutely. I think what's different about this period of time, and look, and let me just go back quickly to the Reagan years. Reagan had something called the Grace Commission. He found that 1 out of every 3 tax dollars was wasted. Then we had the Simpson-Bowles Debt Commission after the financial crisis. So my late boss, Tom Coburn, was on that commission. Coburn actually helped reduce spending for the first time since the end of the Korean War by relentlessly going after waste. But what we've seen, Dan, is over the past 100 years, this gradual increase in spending with a couple of interruptions. And I think we're in a unique moment because there's been a political realignment in this country that didn't exist during the Reagan years and the Simpson-Bowles years. And what's happened is the GOP is now the party of the working class. So the reason those other efforts stalled so often is that Democrats would demagogue the heck out of any bill, any effort to downsize government. They'd say, well, you're going to take away benefits for poor people.
Right, I remember that.
And now, who are the Democrats talking to? You know, they've lost the room. They're talking to coastal elites. So if the GOP's smart, they'll use that leverage to really reimagine and rethink government. And this isn't a demolition project, Dan. This is a renovation project. This is about restoring the founders' vision of limited government using the Constitution as a blueprint. And that's why what Elon Musk and Vivek are doing is so encouraging, is they're saying this is nuts. Why would you throw a 1,500-page bill down and demand that people vote on it in 24 hours? That's insanity. Congress doesn't have to back itself into a corner every year. If this is too much to manage, well, maybe we should manage less government. Maybe instead of having 441 agencies, why not have exactly? Why not have 100 or 50 or even less, 15 agencies, and again go back to the founders' vision, and it's about restoring authority and power with we the people. And look, think of it as like a medical visit. Okay, like if you're a doctor and you see a patient that weighs 450 pounds, you may say, if you lose 250 pounds, you're going to be a lot healthier. You're going to have a much better life. You're going to live longer. And if you downsize government, you're going to improve the quality of services. You're going to make it easier to get disaster relief to people who are suffering. And these are things that are all doable. And so you've got Elon and Vivek really encouraging the president to use his bully pulpit. And DOGE is not just a commission, it's a movement of people. It's a movement of organizations. And I'm hopeful that this really could be the start of a turning point that we've desperately needed in our country for decades.
I agree. It's not going to go over too well in Washington, and that's with both sides of the aisle, because even looking at when they voted on that bloated CR, and I love that Elon posted that pic showing the world 15, almost 1,600 pages of crap versus 116. And even in the 116, there was a little bit of crap. Let's be real. Okay, it's the federal government. Sure. They still waste our money, even if they chopped it down. But that was really poignant, I think, because the American people are so busy trying to keep their heads above water during the Biden regime's last 4 years and Bidenomics, John, right, that they don't have time.
That's right.
They can't read through these things. I tried to just go through the 115 pages last night before we jumped on, and I only got to page like 99 or 100, and we had to get on the set. I couldn't read through all of it, and I was skimming over an hour to get through 100 pages. So, but they do this every year. Every damn year, no matter who's been in charge, the last at least 2 decades, I've seen this, and so have you, John. End of year, here comes the budget. What are we going to do? An omnibus, a CR, kick the can, and then they do it in the 11th hour. We got to get on vacation. And then it doesn't matter if the D's are in charge or the R's. They push this garbage through. Nobody reads it, and there's billions in wasteful spending.
That's right. That's right. And look, and Dan, this hasn't been done. We haven't done what's called a regular order in Congress in 27 years. Okay. And the most basic job of Congress is to look at all the spending bills, review what's working, what isn't working, do oversight, have an open debate, offer amendments, and fight it out over what's good and what's bad. Back when I was a staffer, 25 years ago, Tom Coburn offered 115 amendments to the agricultural appropriations bill, because the big spenders were playing a game and they were using farmers as human shields to blow out the spending caps they just agreed to 2 years before. And so it's gotten a lot worse since then. But any member can take the time to go down, offer amendment after amendment after amendment, and think of it as a dirty job. And like have a Mike Rowe mentality. Get in the sludge, and plow through it and do the work until the work is done. And any member can do that. So if we have 10 people offer 115 amendments, that's over 1,000 amendments. And then you're starting to make progress and root out all the waste and junk, all the $3 million for molasses. You've got $60 million for the Global Engagement Center. There's a lot of idiocy in all of these bills that the public, we the people, deserve to know and to look at it before members of Congress vote on it. And so we're going to push that transparency envelope as far and as fast as we can.
Yeah, I mean, look, I want healthy molasses coming in, but $3 million to make sure the molasses is not tainted. Really, it costs $3 million to make sure the molasses is okay? Come on, John. I mean, it's
well, and here it is. And why trust the government to do that? The best way to make something expensive is for Washington to make it affordable. And so, if you want expensive molasses, have the government be in charge of molasses.
There you go. I got one final question
for you. It's going to move
even
slower.
Yeah, exactly. Well, anything they touch, it's just like Reagan said. What are the scariest words, right? I'm with the government. I'm here to help. Those were the 7 scary words he always said,
exactly.
Right? Let me ask you this final one, because I saw a very interesting post on Elon's X, and I forget which influencer it was, but he had a very long kind of step-by-step play, and I went, that actually sounds right. Do you think that Elon, Vivek, and Trump kind of somewhat planned this? They knew that the House always does this right at the end of the year before Christmas. They throw a bloated CR up. They say it's not an omnibus. They load with billions of dollars. And then all of a sudden, they voted against it. We then get 116 pages. They knew the Dems would vote against that. So now they're breaking everything into separate bills, but then getting rid of the cap, which Trump wants. And so do you think they were playing this all along because they knew this is business as usual and it would get rid of that 1,600 page by playing them this way? I don't know. Somebody online thought this was all, some chess by Trump and Elon and Vivek. Sure. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I don't think so. I think usually, people often think that D.C. is House of Cards. The truth is it's House of Chaos. But what really happened that's even more encouraging is that you've got Elon Musk bringing an outsider, fresh perspective and saying, this is nuts. Why would we do it this way? And we want to keep that perspective. We want him to continue to weigh in, continue to raise these questions of why in the world are we operating with 400 agencies when we could be just fine with 1/4 that number, if not a lot less.
Right.
And so I think it just reflects his perspective. And his outsider view is not the problem, it's the solution. We need a lot more of that, because that's how normal people think about their government. They think, why in the world are we functioning this way?
Yes,
when we could do it so much more efficiently and so much more respectfully to taxpayers.
Well, when we have to budget our household and then we watch those idiots not budget our money in their household, yeah, we the people get a little upset. John, if I don't see you, Merry Christmas to you and the family. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Dan. Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you.